You're watching Food Love with Anna. Hello, food lovers. It's dinner for two with an appetizer, a delicious main course, and an easy, delectable dessert. Now, if you want to see how I make all three, please keep watching. So I'm going to start by making my French onion soup, which is our appetizer. So I've got 2 large onions that I've cut in half and I've sliced thinly. Now, once I've got all of my onions nice and sliced, I'm going to melt some butter in a hot pot, and then to that pot I'm going to add all of my sliced onions. To that I'm going to add some kosher salt and a little brown sugar. I'm going to stir this together just to make sure that the onions are coated with the butter and the sugar and the salt. Now, the main ingredient in French onion soup is, of course, caramelized onions. And the key to caramelization is to slowly cook the onions with consistent heat while stirring frequently. Now, if the heat is too high or the onions are allowed to sit for too long without being stirred, they will burn. So as you can see here, I am stirring. And with each stage, the onions are breaking down a little more, and they're starting to take on that beautiful brown color, and some brown bits are starting to get stuck to the bottom of my pot. Now it's beginning to take on that famous dark brown color of caramelized onions, and now we're ready to get together our liquid for this soup. So traditionally, French onion soup is made with beef stock, but I'm not going to use that today because I'd like this to be a suitable option for a vegetarian. So to 3 cups of water, I've added some nice white wine. I've added some Worcestershire sauce as well as some balsamic vinegar. Now I've got a store-bought baguette that I'm cutting on the diagonal. These are going to be the croutons to top our French onion soup. I'm going to place these on a baking sheet and bake them for about 10 minutes at a 375 degree oven. So back to our onions, I'm adding some garlic powder, some black pepper, some dried thyme, and a nice sprinkling of coarse sea salt. I'm going to get that nice and stirred, and then I'm going to add our liquid. Once you've added this liquid, be sure to stir it so you can release all of those brown bits on the bottom, because those brown bits are flavor. I'm also going to go in and add a bay leaf, and I'm going to add just a little bit of tomato paste. I'm going to fish that bay leaf out, and then I have these cute little oven-safe mugs that I'm going to ladle that onion soup mixture into. I'm going to top that with one of our croutons, and then I'm going to top that with a mixture of freshly grated Gruyere and Swiss cheeses. I love this part. This just kind of makes the whole soup for me. So I'm going to do this again with the second mug, top it with all of this nice cheese, and then place it on a baking sheet, pop it in the oven under a broiler until it's nice and bubbly and golden like this. Delicious. Now at this point, we can add a nice salad, and this could be a great Valentine's Day dinner for you and the one you love if you're vegetarian. But we're going to keep going. So I've got 2 nice 12-ounce beautiful New York strip steaks. I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm blotting them dry on both sides. I'm going to heavily season these with kosher salt and black pepper. I'm not going to season these with anything other than salt and pepper, because at the end of the cooking process, I'm going to add some compound garlic and herb butter, which is going to add additional seasoning. So you see, I'm seasoning both sides of these steaks, and then I'm going to go and just kind of press the seasoning in on the steaks. Now I have a cast iron skillet that I've oiled well, and I've heated it up on the broil setting of my oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. I take it out carefully and I put it on the top of the stove at medium-high heat, and then I add my steaks. I cook them on each side for 1 minute, and then I plop the whole pan into the oven for about 6 minutes because I like my steaks to be medium. And voila, look at this, beautiful. Now here is that garlic, herb, compound butter that I was speaking of. I just smear it a little bit on each steak. And then I put a lid on and I let it rest for about 15 minutes. And in the meantime, we're going to make some delicious potatoes. So I've got some baby Yukon Gold potatoes that I've steamed until they're fork tender. And then I place them on a baking sheet that's been oiled with some butter. And then I go in with a spatula and I just flatten these out. It's okay if they break or if they stick to the spatula, you can just kind of peel them off. But you want to flatten all of the potatoes. And then I have a mixture of melted butter that I've seasoned with some garlic powder and some black pepper. And I liberally brush this butter mixture onto the tops of all of the flattened potatoes. So I pop these into a 450-degree oven for about 15 minutes. And then I sprinkle on some sea salt. I top these with some cool, creamy sour cream. And then sprinkle some chives on top. So good. These potatoes were so buttery. Perfect accompaniment for the steak. Now, our steak that's been resting for 15 minutes, I've cut that on the diagonal. And I've taken some of those pan juices with that melted compound herb and garlic butter and spooned it over. And there's your steak. So now let's move on to our dessert. Our chocolate souffle. So I've got some bittersweet chocolate that I've broken up into pieces in a microwave safe bowl. I've added to that 2 pats of butter. I microwave this in about 20-second bursts until it's about this consistency. And then in 2 separate bowls, I'm going to separate 2 eggs. Now I take that chocolate and I add some vanilla extract and I get that nice and mixed in. And then I add my egg yolks one at a time. 1, I mix it up. 2, I do the same thing. So once I have this nice and mixed, I will put it to the side for now. And then I take the egg whites, I add some sugar, a pinch of cream of tartar, and a pinch of salt. And then I go to town beating these whites until they have nice stiff peaks. So as you can see here, we're almost there. Our egg whites are nice and white and creamy. And then here's how you can tell that you've got nice stiff peaks when you can hold the beaters upside down and they hold their shape. So now I've got some cute little ramekins. I'm taking some butter and I'm going to butter the ramekins. And then to the ramekins, I'll add some unsweetened cocoa powder. And I'll dust the ramekins with the cocoa powder. I shake off the excess. And when I'm done dusting my ramekins, they should look something like this. So now that chocolate mixture, I take the beaten egg whites and I add it to the chocolate mixture. And I take my spatula and I gently, and let me stress again, gently fold the egg whites into the chocolate mixture. You do not want to go in and vigorously stir this mixture together because you'll collapse all of the air that you spent your time beating into the egg whites. And your mixture should look like this or similar. I had to go in and taste this. It was delicious, by the way. And then you'll just pour your batter into your treated ramekins, put them on a baking dish, and pop them into a hot oven. And I so hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, I'm wishing you joy and lots of food love.